What it is, guys, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at y'all with another Dokkan Battle World Tournament team building video, but tonight's is a little bit different. Tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be showcasing someone else's box. And I do have my version up over here, but a friend of mine was, he was having some problems with the World Tournament and needed some help building teams. Now, cut the guy a little slack. He's not quite as versed in the game as we are. A little bit newer than we are, so be kind. Let's not blow up the comments section with, why don't you have this Dokkan awakened? Well, because he can't some of those yet. So, we're going to work on this World Tournament team, and we're going to help this guy get a little further into the game, okay? He's a good friend of the channel. Some of y'all actually know SD, but we're going to help him actually get good. Sorry, SD. Sorry, man. But that's what we're going to do tonight. Now, first things first, I'm going to show you my World Tournament team. Now, a lot of people aren't fans of my team. Let me grab my phone here, because I'm used to clicking on the screen. I can't do that anymore. Not through the HDMI. So what we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at my team real quick. This is the team that I've built for the World Tournament. Now, I love this team. This team is just absolutely spectacular. I am aware I do not have any orbs in LR Bojack, because I've been telling myself for the past 3 or 4 months that I'm going to do a damage test on one day, and I haven't done it yet. I'm going to have to fix that. So that is kind of calculated and stupid, but it's a thing. It's an effective team. This team gets me very far. You guys have seen me thrash, 7-8 minute World Tournament runs at 30 times. So it's not like this team can't hold its own. So really the cornerstone to a really good World Tournament team is an effective leader. And y'all know back in the day, we used to run LR Broly as our leaders just because it's what we had. It was about really the only way to build an effective AoE team that was any good. But now, with category builds, we've just got tons and tons of phenomenal teams you could run. I think my 2 absolute favorites are Pure Saiyans and Movie Bosses / Full Power. Movie Bosses / Full Power has so many good units. So many good units, it's ridiculous. But AGL Turles here, who leads Movie Bosses, kind of is falling off the grid a little bit, okay? I think anymore, the physical Broly is kind of your best go-to for this, okay? Not only is he a 170 attack lead, so you're going to do way more, he also leads Full Power team, which gives you a lot more options to tap into. So for me, he's my #1 leader. Now, like I said, Pure Saiyans, if you have Evolution Blue Vegeta, that is a great team as well, because you could throw both of these guys in that team with Turles. Now, the free-to-play Turles isn't the best, but he's an AoE who will hit decently and get you out of some bad situations. So I do stand by that team, but I really think now that we have Strength Boo, this team is way, way, way better. Okay? So the team that I built here obviously is Physical Broly leading Strength Broly and Strength Boo. Strength LR Broly, as you know, is the classic AoE. He's the tournament killer. He's the best unit for the tournament. Hands down, end of story. Don't even at me on that one, because you're wrong. The dude hits twice no matter what. If you give him a little bit of double tack, sometimes he hits 3 times. It's ridiculous. And he's with a dupe in him and almost all crit. I've had mine hit for 2 mil and not even flinch. Like 2 mil crits all day and all night. It's crazy. And that's across the board. So, dude's a monster, right? Strength Boo. Strength Boo, I think, is one of the most underrated units in the tournament, because he actually has the potential to hit harder than Broly. Because what he does, if you're not familiar with this unit for whatever reason, I talk about him every tournament, changes int spheres to strength spheres. So if you have any key issues, like my team has some key issues, I'm not ashamed to admit it. If you have some key issues, he will iron those out. Because even if you can't get him to attack, at minimum Broly is most certainly going to attack. And I know the goal here is to kill everybody in one shot. The goal of this is to one-shot the whole team to have the fastest runs. Well, there's a lot of situations where I have this Boo and the Strength Broly on the team, and sometimes I gotta pick and choose. Well, I'm usually going to out Broly, because Broly's a little easier to get a super attack on. But if it's too many orbs, then I can get this guy to do it. Because not only is he changing orbs to strength, attack and defense 50% plus an additional attack and defense. He's a nuker for both attack and defense. 10% per strength sphere obtained. So even if you have key issues, this guy irons a lot of those out for you. He's a fantastic unit. And a lot of people get on to me for running some of the orb change items in the World Tournament. I know it stalls the World Tournament a little bit, but 7-8 minute runs, despite that, I defend that any day of the week. Any day of the week. And I've got so many items. I hoard items. Like, I can't even buy stuff at the Baba Shop right now because I have so many of them. It's just, if you need help with that, run the Bulma event. Do an entire stamina run on the Bulma event. I usually recommend doing that every day, but we're in the tournament now, and they run the Bulma event, like 24 hours for the tournament, so you can't do that as much anymore. But she stays around after the tournament's done, so then you can replenish those items. So there's no reason not to. Like, for me, dropping orb change items is nothing. That's just a tactic in the World Tournament these days. So yes, this team does have a few key issues. You do need to pay attention to that. But I've got 3 units right up here on the top that immediately do AoE damage. So literally half of your team's doing AoE. And I'm going to run an STR Broly friend. So I've got 4 out of my 7 units that are 100% doing AoE damage. Now, you will still have these occasional run where you don't get that option. I do not have the physical cell, so I don't have another AoE unit that I could throw on this team. I believe he works with full power, but don't quote me on that. Pretty sure in fact, I have it over here, and he does not. Incel does, but he does not. So what do I do instead? Well, here's the thing. Metal Cooler. The Metal Cooler from Battlefield. This dude is awesome. Now, he may not be the best hitter, but he's going to do 3 attacks each and every time. And until you get up past, level 20, sometimes late level 20 he won't do it. Single attacks usually kill units, unless they're really, really strong units. Now, most people are stacking their teams with LRs, so you kind of can't expect that anymore. But with 3 attacks, even on times 20, he usually kills at least 1 person in the finals. And if you're not, times 30, he usually kills at least 1 person in the finals, no matter what. So at minimum, even if you can't get a super attack off with him, he's going to be awesome. Give this guy double attack. Give him as much double attack as you can. Because remember, every time you do an attack, it does a roll for that double attack. You can only get 1 double attack. But when you have 3 attacks going up, that triples your odds of getting a roll. So the more double attack you have in this guy, the more likely he is to do a 4th attack. And it has a higher chance of being a super attack than your previous 2 attacks. So this guy can do up to 3 attacks, up to 4 attacks if he's got dupes in him. Mine's rainbowed, so you better believe he does 4 attacks frequently. Though I have a little more crit in him than I'd like, and I would fix that one day, but I'm not overly worried about that. Like, mine still does a great job. So you have a really good chance of getting at least 3, if not 4, good attacks, possibly 2 super attacks. I've had him do up to 4 super attacks before, but that's really, really rare. So remember, this guy can take out everybody on the field if you really need him to on the lower levels. On the higher levels, he's at least going to be a good stall unit. After that, I'm going to skip over Bojack. I'll come back to Bojack in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and go to Turles. Turles is a really, really stellar unit to throw on here because all allies attack key +3, attack 40%, superclass enemies minus 15%. So if you come up against a superclass enemy, he is going to cripple them, and then you can just take him out. He's a really phenomenal unit, and I'm going to go out, and I'm just going to say it, this dude is indispensable on a team like this. I rarely get a transformation out of him. Sometimes he does transform. It's like a 30% chance. If he does, just use him as an attacker, because then he's really easy to use, and he gets a little more key. But what this guy does on a team like this, and how well he links up with most of these units, it's phenomenal. Like, just forget about it. He's going to wreck face for you. This dude hits really well, and he's a great support for the team. Now, for me, and for my money, Bojack. I'm going to actually switch out Bojack. You know how I'm going to switch out Bojack for? I'm going to switch Bojack out for this guy. Okay? That's my team. That's my new addition to the team. I've got a dupe in him. He's got more health. He's got more attack. He's just all around going to be a better unit for me, and he's going to link up with Cooler pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and say that is going to be my team. The key things to remember is you want AoEs and you want LRs. LRs get you points. AoEs get you a quick finish. That's it. So stack as many AoEs on the team as you can. Fill the rest out with LRs. The only one that's not an LR on here is Turles, and I actually might replace him. I got to go look at some of my support units. But I really think Turles, his days might be numbered, but not yet because of how well he links. I got to do a little more math on that. But he's very good. If you have recommendations, definitely put those in the comments section. Now, that's my team. That's my box. Let's look at my friend's box, okay? Okay, so I've got him up over here on the screen. So looking at the units in here, I've had him break this out so that I've got over here on the far side, I actually have his movie bosses team, and the other two over here are actually his full power team. And I know the organization isn't that great, but follow along with me, guys. Follow along here, okay? You'll see that there's actually, and I'm going to pick on him here for a minute, but you'll forgive me, hopefully. Emphasis on hopefully. There are quite a few units that are not Dokkan Awakened. Now, don't focus on that. He and I are working together to actually fix that. We're building a really good team that's going to be able to do some Dokkan Awakenings and get in here and build a stellar team. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up over here the team that I actually built for him, okay? So, let's talk about this team, okay? On the right side of the team, where actually it should be on the left technically for the way we're doing it, but whatever, it's on the right side of the right side of the team are all the units that I think are going to be absolutely paramount to his success, okay? We have Strength Broly, we have Physical Broly. Now, Physical Broly's not awakened yet, but we're actually going to have him awakened hopefully later on tonight. You won't see Strength Boo in his box because Strength Boo doesn't go to full power until he's Dokkan Awakened. So that Strength Boo, once we get him Dokkan Awakened, is going on the team. 100%. 100% he's going on the team. And he does have LR Metal Cooler, I think. Double checking here. Pretty sure I saw him on there. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm imagining things. No, I think it's the other cooler. Yeah, we're going to have to correct... We'll have to correct that. And we'll see if he has any Battlefield gems. Maybe I got ahead of myself on that and I saw the wrong cooler. So we're going to work with that. I'd have to, once again, have his account live, and I don't right now. But, because we're trying to work on him awakening things, rather than me just taking it over and throwing it up on screen and wasting 2 hours of his life. So, barring Metal Cooler. So, Metal Cooler would be a great asset for him, but I have to see if he has the Battlefield gems for it, and I kind of doubt it, considering the box. So, with that out of the way, I do know one of the units that he has not awakened yet that we are working on is AGL Gohan. He has AGL Gohan, and he has the old school Int Gohan. Both of these guys are great units for the tournament. Wait, hold up. How is that a thing? Well, they're both on the full power team, so they're both led by Physical Broly. They're both Saiyans, and they have Super Saiyan links, so both of them are going to link to Broly and Broly. So you've got good links. You're working on links right there. I'd have to see how their key links are. Okay, so I do see here that that AGL Broly to Physical... I'm sorry, Int Broly to Physical Broly has 4 links. AGL looks like he has a couple links himself. I don't see the exact number on there, but he has a good number of links. Now, even to 5 links from AGL Broly to Strength Broly. So they've got good links. So even if you can't get AGL with Int together on a team, they're going to work well together. The other reason is I know there's single attack units, but they're both LRs. They're both going to score points, and if you get them on a team together, they work so well together, just insanely well together. The best part about all of this, the absolute best part about all of this, at least in my opinion, they all get crazy amounts of ki. If you can get AGL orbs to Gohan, he will just do wonderful things with them. Now, you're not going to get his transformation, so you're not really going to get that crazy benefit, but he's fairly easy to feed. Int Gohan, on the other hand, remember, he replicates. So if you give him Int orbs, for every Int orb, it counts for 3. Every regular orb counts for 2. Int Gohan is really easy to feed. The downside to Int Gohan is he has no defenses. So that's kind of the bad thing. If you throw Int Gohan in a fight, you kind of want to take him out of the realm of getting any kind of damage, because he will get squished quickly. AGL is a much better tank. AGL works really, really well as a tank. He doesn't quite have the key benefits like that other one does, but because he's the only AGL on your team, barring the unit above him, which we'll talk about in a moment, which isn't an attack unit, we'll talk about him. He's the only attacking unit on this team, aside from Turles and aside from the AGL Frieza. He's the only attacking unit on this team who's actually going to be able to get orbs, and because you're already using up the Int and the Fizz and the Strength orbs, you're good to go. And yes, you're going to be using up Int because of Boo, even if not Metal Cooler. So you've got a good stack of orbs there that you can feed him. Every other orb, like the other Gohan, will just be happy to get orbs. Whatever you give him, he'll love and he'll go ham on. So this is a good team. This is going to get a lot of points and is going to kill things fast. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, AGL Golden Frieza. This is not an attack unit. Now, he does have his Rainbow, which is very, very, very good. But we're not going to use him for attack. We're using him as a block unit. This AGL Frieza is going to tank the crap out of damage. He does a 90% damage reduction. And remember, when you get to the higher levels, units love to super attack. Units absolutely love to. If you ever see me run level 30 and somebody's in the front, I always Ghost Usher that dude, or at least drop his damage down to nothing, because you can't trust that unit. If you're level 30, that unit's going to super attack you. Probably not, but you can't run the risk. You gotta squash him before it even happens. So if I had AGL Frieza on my team, which unfortunately I just don't have a good spot for him on my team, if I had him on my team, I could throw him in there, and I could just let him take whatever. It's not going to hurt. You know, he can get super attacked and laugh at it, even in the World Tournament. Consider that for a moment. 90% damage reduction, even if you take a 2 mil attack, is pennies. Is nothing. It's your life bar sucks in the World Tournament. Let's just be real about that right now. So the first thing that really sucks about the World Tournament that really makes it a challenge, and the reason a lot of people don't like it, is because you only get one leader. One leader. And your leader skill always comes from the first unit on the team. So whatever that leader skill is giving you, you can't double it like you normally can in Dokkan Fests and literally every other gameplay in the game. You literally have the one. So normally we'd have 150 lead or a 300% lead. We'd have 150 lead. Or in the case of Physical Broly, we have 170 attack, but is good enough. But that also nerfs your defenses, so you don't have very good defenses in the tournament. In the tournament, you are very, very, very susceptible to silly things. So for me, having that blocking unit when you get higher up in the levels is very, very important. That's not saying he's going to come up every time. It's absolutely not saying he's going to come up every time. But I definitely would put that guy up there. Now, some of these units are not awakened, like I said before. So let's talk about AGL Turles. AGL Turles, if he was awoken, would be a great asset to this team. I think, for what he and I are working on, I don't think I'm going to put AGL Turles up there. I think AGL Turles is actually going to go down on my list. Now, I know this guy has other LRs. We're looking at, we've got LR Super Saiyan 4, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I think he has Goku Frieza in there, but I just don't think he has them awakened. So I don't think they're showing up. Don't believe he has Tech Broly. He has AGL Bojack, but not the LR Bojack. So, those are things. Those are absolute things. There's some units you guys can't see that I've seen on the back end because they don't show up in some of these teams. Case in point, Strength Boo. But those units that I put up here, if he throws Physical Broly in the slot 1, Strength Broly, Strength, once we get him awakened, Strength Boo, and we do need to awaken that Physical Broly. I want to, because he's going to watch this video and probably around the same time we're explaining to him. Once we get that Physical Broly awakened, we'll be ready to go in the tournament. We get that Physical Boo awakened, we'll be ready to go in the tournament. We get that AGL Gohan, we'll be ready for the tournament. It is kind of hinging on that, okay? I'm going to pull AGL Turles out of the mix. That AGL Turles is great, but I think you have to have him awakened really to kind of shine. If he's not awakened, he could be like the weak link in the chain. He's not going to have a lot of defense. He's not going to have a lot of attack. He's not going to have. He's not going to be supporting as much. He's only 2 key instead of 3 key, which every little bit of key counts in the tournament. I'm going to go ahead and say, pull AGL, pull that bottom row out. So we're going to pull the bottom row out, and we're just going to focus on those other 6, and he's going to run a Strength Broly friend. That, I think, is going to be an effective tournament team. Now, comment section loves these videos because y'all love to try to prove me wrong. So definitely, and I'm not talking about the AG. If you're looking over there at Int Gohan, I know some of y'all are saying that's not the Gohan. That's a different Gohan. He's got the LR. We just have to awaken it. Cool your shorts. So that, I think, is going to be our World Tournament team, and I think this team is good enough. Once we get everything awakened, I think this team is good enough to easily cruise at 20 times, if not 25 times. You could take on 30, but you're going to be bleeding some items because not a lot of these units have dupes and things like that. But, I mean, if you want to spend a few items, this could cruise around level 30 fairly effectively with little caution. The only thing that worries me a little bit is that AGL, yeah. Oh boy. What's his face? Golden Frieza. He's going to be great defensively, but if you give him orbs rather than giving him to the AGL Gohan, it's going to end poorly for you. Just not going to end well. So, for me, for my 2 cents, those are my teams. Those are the teams that I like that I think are going to do spectacularly in the tournament. Now, once again, that's my 2 cents. Comment section. It's your turn to kick in. Looking at the units he has up there. Now, don't consider anything else in there. There's not a whole crazy lot. I see AGL Tapion. He wouldn't be a bad choice, but he's not as good as AGL Frieza. Now, Frieza does kind of start to lose effect after your 50% damage, but usually at 50% damage in the tournament, you start wanting to heal because that gets scary. In the tournament, let's be real, usually it's you get super attack, you die. Other than that, you're fine. So I think AGL, I still think, despite having Tapion up there, albeit unawakened, I still think AGL Golden Frieza is going to be my number one, or my number one choice for those floaters. As I went over the list, I really think that's kind of it. Now, once again, it hinges on Gohan, Broly, and Boo all getting awakened. So we're going to work on that in the background. Wish my Mang SD some luck down there in the comments section, because this tournament is going to be a turning point in his Dokkan career, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. Other than that, guys, that is going to be the video. Legit, let's get the conversation going. If you guys have better ideas, I am all for it. I would love to hear it. And, maybe it'll help this guy build a better team. It's just community collaboration at that point. There's nothing absolutely wrong at all with helping out your fellow teammates or your fellow competitors in the World Tournament build a better team. Because team building videos like this make the field stronger as a whole and give us better competition throughout the game. I'm all about the competition. Like, I love to win, but I also really like a good contest. So, let's see what we can do, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow my Birdman, hit me up on Booker. I'll be back at you guys with the World Tournament grind here later on tonight in the live stream. See you then.